Well, a very good evening, or afternoon I should say, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another FlyJSim live stream. Today it's the 20th of January 2022, 3 minutes past 4 on the afternoon. Here we are back in X-Men 11. We're back in the FlyJSim 737-200 Classic. I think it's been almost a year since we last flew this aircraft. I was actually thinking of what we could do today, because I was on early standby. And I thought, why not take the FlyJSim 737-200 out for a spin? And not only that, we will use the now famous webcam. There we are. So we're going to have yoke cam with the FlyJSim aircraft. No auto throttle at all today, so I'm going to have to be setting thrust manually throughout the sector. And also, for the first ever time, we are in Saudi Arabia right now. We're in Riyadh, and we'll be flying to Madinah. Flight time around an hour and 30 minutes, mostly down to the massive headwind we're expecting with the prevailing westerly winds here. And in Madinah, I think that's how it's pronounced, they have a very busy VATSIM event on this evening. So yeah, first ever time in Saudi Arabia. We're running live weather. We are 12 hours behind live time in the sim, so the sun has just risen in the sim. Right now it's 3,000 meters visibility here, bit of haze around, 15 degrees QH1022, otherwise very nice and very clear. Oh yeah, stripy jumper. No, my garment of choice today, Top Man. There's other clothing brands available. I've got a bit of a little sweater on here, so yes, that's what I've gone for. Anyway, who do we have here in the chat this afternoon so far? We have Shui, yoke cam trademark. I think a lot of streamers use the term yoke cam, but we'll use it anyway. Cron 1K, hope you're doing well. Always foggy here, must be smog. Ah, yeah, possibly. Steve MG, Lauren 2500, hope you're doing well. Ben Matthews, John Padfield, Micro Pish, Domino Mosina, RH, LMG, MLG. I should have said actually at the start, Salam alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. I forgot we were in Saudi. Teddy 31425, T5, Aaron Hastings, Lizard Doggos here, Andy H202, I think I might have already said hello to you, but hello again. Marco, Pete S, Warrior Lad, Ben Matthews, hope you're feeling better, buddy, and the best for now. Dave Hagen, Nortsky, and who else? Edo right at the top there as well. Sweater in Saudi. Well, it's not so warm here in the UK. It's about 0 degrees outside, so that's why I've got my sweater on at the moment. Mark Burgess, how about a bit of 747-200 action? Well, we've got the Fearless 747-200. We've done 4 or 5 streams in, but it's been a very long time since we've actually flown the FlyJSim 737-200, and with the yoke cam, I thought it'd be great fun to try it out. Anyway, yes, not going as alpaca today. You know, sometimes we like to change it up a bit. When we did the first flight in the Dash 8, we went as Flybe, and I've just always sort of liked this livery. I don't know, I've seen lots of pictures of, well, it's now just called Saudi Airlines. I think it used to be called Saudi Arabian Airlines. I just really like this livery. I think it looks really cool. It's kind of green, blue and white stripes down the middle. Very, you know, typical livery of the era, you know, 70s and things like that. I think, actually, I didn't actually realise Saudi Arabian Airlines is actually a really big airline. I think they've got something like 150 aircraft. I didn't actually realise how big they are. I think they're the 3rd biggest airline in the Middle East, behind obviously Emirates and Qatar. I think it's then Saudi and then Etihad. Not sure which order, but no, they're actually a very big airline. Obviously not many 737-200s flying around these days as well. Hello Gordon Smith, Abbas Abgar, amazing livery. Yes, if you'd like this, use the download this for your FlyJSim 737-200. Make sure you use the command !livery and it'll be linked there. All the sceneries as well included. This is a freeware scenery available on the X-Plane forums. The link for that, well, the information of what it is in the video description below. Anyway, let's zoom on into the cockpit. We'll imagine we've just arrived here in our bus. You can see it's been battered around. It's got all these new plates on there. We've got the air stairs extended all out, and all I've done, well, is absolutely nothing apart from open the doors and extend them. But there we are. Oops, into the cabin. Oh no, not as smooth as I usually am. Into the cockpit we go, all ready to get set up. Anyway, let's turn down this crazy disco music slightly, and we'll go for something a little bit more calmer and relaxing whilst we get the aircraft set up here from Cold and Dark. Superb. So let's get some power first. I think I need to actually connect the ground power first, so I think that's this little button here. You see, I've done my test sector with a clean install. I had to do all the fixes to get the INS to work without the stuttering, which I just about remembered how to do. Yeah, all conventional and INS navigation for you today. So, GPU cart. There we are, that's connected. I think I'll just turn the sound down slightly, otherwise I'll be talking over the GPU for the entire setup. There we are, that's done. Let's get some power to the aircraft. So battery on, GPU and electric hydraulic pumps are on. We'll open the ground interconnect switch to pressurise all the flight controls. Landing gear lever is down. We have 1, 2, 3 green lights. It's only the 3 green lights there, nothing on the overhead panel on the Classic. And then we check all the aircraft documentation as well. Fault fire test, so going down here. Squibs all good. Let's do the fault test. That's all looking good. Fire test. There we are. Fire warning. Bell. Master caution as well. FlyJSim's a little bit FPS friendly, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, I'm getting 100 FPS on the new PC. Absolutely dank, I think is the word the kids use these days. Used that word a long time. Martin, I can't believe I'm here before you take off. Thank you very much for popping in. Yeah, setup should be about 25-30 minutes. Not much to load up in the INS today. Herman, very busy with the PPL, learning how catching up with the physiology stuff like hypoxia, if you don't want to have anything like that. Cron, such a pleasantly familiar layout. Absolutely. We've got to love the old classic 737. I mean, for me to go from the NG to this is not difficult at all. Very little has changed apart from modern flight instruments and flight management computer, essentially. Very good. Where do you shovel the coal in on this thing, Liam? Brilliant. Right, let's carry on. Oops. Okay, apparently I just advanced the thrust levers to full power. I think it was by I didn't knock them on the quadrant. I think there must have been a bit of noise there. Right, so fault fire tests we've done. Arm the emergency exit lights. Fasten seatbelt sign. We could turn on as well. I actually have. Someone's just come back to me and said, could you fly this route on VATSIM? It's all. I can't do that. I can't do that because I'm unable on our own. Uh-oh. I hope this guy is just basically someone's come online and says unable to. He says unable. Oh, he said Roger now. Could you please use this route? And I just said unable to have INS. Roger. Okay. I'm just messaging someone on VATSIM. I know you can't see the thing, which is a bit annoying here. 2 seconds, guys. Requesting Delta departure via OERK. There we go. What was I getting on to here? So voucher on GPU on electric hydraulic pumps. Yes, fuel. Let's have a look at our operational flight plan. Someone's having a bonfire outside the house. I can just smell smoke. You know, when you have bonfire smoke, it absolutely stinks. 7.4 tons is the required amount of fuel. Flight time 1 hour 23 minutes. Now actually the distance is 402 miles across the ground. Look at the air distance, 515 miles. It's an extra 100 miles, and that's because look at this, we're going to have a 90 knot headwind the entire sector, which is a bit of a pain. A little bit more thirsty than the NG, so this is burning 2.7 tons an hour. We need 7.4 minimum. Now it is a VATSIM event, just in case I have to hold. I'm just going to round it up to 8 tons plus a ton to 9 tons. That's good enough for at least 40 minutes extra fuel. So you'll have a look here and you'll see, where's the loader? You can see I'm fully loaded. Look, I've got all the full amount of passengers, just taken some off the rear just to get the CG right in the middle. So it's 92 passengers, and you can see I've already loaded the fuel at 9,058 kilos. At the moment we're above our maximum landing weight, but we're taking off with 49 tons. We'll have burnt that amount of fuel by the time we get to our destination to be below 47,627. So fueling's all done, seatbelt signs on, MCP, I can get that all set up now. So runway QDM here is 327. And the departure we're going to be flying, I'll brief it all shortly, guys, is going to be, it's just called simply the Delta departure, because all these SIDs are RNAV, except they do have a radar departure available for when there's, you know, when you're in an aircraft like this. So it's 277 for the courses, and 277 there. We'll have a look at that later and explain what we've got set there. I don't know what the SID stop level will be, or altitude, so I'll just put 8,000 feet for now. Light test will do. So overhead panels looking all good. Those are the master caution lights. Below the glare shields, and on the pedestal as well. So light test is completed. We'll leave that on bright. INS, we'll get that warmed up now. I'll put that over to standby. There we are. Just going to position in shortly. Radios are all tuned, so I want to have it on VHF 1, which is this one here. So VHF 1, VHF 2 selector. You can listen to the idents there as well. We can do that later. 13.3 is the active VOR light for departure. So 13.3 is set. Looks like it's identified. We'll ident it again shortly. All looking good there on the pedestal. Overhead pattern. Oh, actually, no, we'll load up the INS now. Cool, so let me just bring up Navigraph for you so you can see where we are geographically and where we are going. So there is Africa, Europe, Russia, India. We are in Saudi Arabia, in the capital Riyadh, and the departure we're doing we'll discuss shortly. But here is the airport. We need to firstly tell the INS what our position is. So if we go here to the airport, huge airport here at Riyadh, King Khaled International. We are over here on parking stand apron 6 Charlie on stand Echo 32. We need to find our coordinates for this stand. So stand Echo 32 right at the top here. There we are. So we need to punch these coordinates into the INS to tell us our position. So we'll do that now. So Echo 32, that is going to be position, and we've selected 0. It is north 24,569, 24,569, insert, and then it is east 04642.7, and insert. There we are. So we told the INS where we are. We can now flick this over to Align and to waypoint, and we can now start loading up the INS. So our SID, which I'll brief shortly, is the Delta 6 departure from runway 33 right, I should think. Looking at the latest weather conditions here, what's the surface wind doing? It's actually 010 at 15, so yes, I'll be definitely using runway 33 left and 33 right for today. Essentially, it's a radar vector departure. There's not much to it. It just simply says, climb on runway heading, maintain 8,000 feet. So actually, we've got 8,000 feet set there, which is good. Expect radar vectors. So hopefully we'll get a radar vectors towards OERK, which is the first INS waypoint I'm programming, and then from OERK we'll be joining the Yankee 216 airway all the way to our destination. It's simply a direct line towards Papa Mike Alpha, where we'll hopefully get vectors, or there's a DME ARC approach we can fly onto the ILS or VR approach, whatever's in use. Hopefully ATC will accommodate us regardless of what's going on. So we'll just get rid of that for now, and I'll now bring up my operational flight plan, because the only INS waypoints I want to program is just simply 3, is OERK, a waypoint on the airway between OERK and our destination, just for a sort of time and fuel check, and then we'll put the VOR in at the destination. So waypoint number 1 is OERK. There's the coordinates. So waypoint 1 is selected, north 25,099. Insert east. It's then going to be 04457.0. Insert waypoint number 2 is going to be Damel, which is halfway on this Yankee 216 airway to our destination. So there is Damel, north 24504. Insert east 04159.3. Insert, and lastly waypoint number 3, which is the VOR overhead the airport. We'll already be over at VOR navigation at that point, and that is north 2432.8. Insert east 03942.3. Insert, and that's it. All the waypoints are in. We'll go over here to STS to see how long the alignment takes. Nice little feature though, if you want to get the alignment done, simply push the ready nav button. There you go straight to 0. It just speeds up the process, otherwise you have to wait for the full alignment, which is about 10 minutes or so. There we are, INS is all aligned. Sorry chat, I've been ignoring you there for a while. 2 tons of love. A straight line to our destination. How hard can it be? Almost straight line. Where can one buy this plane, please? Mike Marino, if you'd like to have a look at the FlyJSim aircraft, I'll get you the link now in chat. So there you go. $70, I think it is. It is worthwhile. One of the things which I have actually let the devs know in Discord, and a lot of people have reported about, and one thing I never really noticed in the past, if we head outside here, it's the same with the level up aircraft. If I bring up my yoke cam here, there we are, just look how the elevator moves in response to this. Look, it's still moving very slow, so in reality it's instantaneous. No, the elevator and aileron and all the control inputs would move at almost the same rate. If I was doing this, the elevator would going up, down, up, down, up, down as well, at the same rate. So they really need to speed that up. Otherwise, well, you'll see there's quite a lot of delayed response in pitch in this aircraft. It can be quite tricky to fly, especially with the yoke, as I was practicing earlier. Very difficult to flare. Hopefully, now they've got the Dash 8 out, which is an excellent aircraft, they'll get to maybe reducing a little fix to improve the responsiveness of the control system. This aircraft's already excellent. It's really good. I really enjoy flying it. Just need to make it handle a little bit better. Python 360, hello boss, liking the retro. I am too. It's really, really cool there. And in realistic burning smells, as the wiring of this old bird is probably likely to catch fire any minute. It's probably what it is. Yes, some neighbours got a bonfire going, that's for sure. Excellent. Matthew, it's almost like they're all simulating a false fly-by-wire. Possibly, but yeah, a little bit delayed. Maybe it's little leprechauns or something in the flight controls, and they're pulling on each other's arm to make it work. I don't know. Colorado, is it as bad as the level up? I don't like the word bad. It just, yeah, it moves at the same rate as the one on the level up as well. So both level up and the FlyJSim, they just need to increase the control responsiveness. It needs to be a lot quicker, and then they'll find with X-Plane and how aircraft handle X-Plane that the aircraft will respond a lot better and truer to the real thing. The Zebo mod, you'll see, responds excellently because the flight control responses are instantaneous like they should be. So it's something that needs to be done. Anyway, INS is loaded. We can now go over here in the overhead panel. Your damper's on, and we've slaved the compass, HSI to the compass. Normal. Check the crossfeed. There's a tiddly amount of fuel in the centre tank, but not enough to put the centre tank pumps on at this stage. Fuel heat, that is unique to the Classic. Galley power will turn on. You can check the electrical power for different systems. So with ground power, we've got 400 Hz, 115 volts. We'll just leave it on Gen 1 for now. Cool fact, if you look here on the 737-200, you see you have these AC amperage gauges. I think these are from the IDG. They're removed on the, I don't know about the 400, but the NG they're removed. But if you actually have a look at the NG overhead panel, you type on Google now, 737-800 NG panel, they still have these curves in here. It's where the gauges used to be. Obviously here to accommodate the AC amperage gauges here, but on the NG they removed the gauges, but they still have that little curve in there for where these gauges are, which is pretty cool. Fun fact for the day. Equipment cooling normal, panel brightness is all good, seatbelt sign on, no smoking sign on, and window heat on at this stage, engine wing anti-ice off, we'll close the doors shortly. Cabin altitude indicating 2,000 feet, that is because that is the elevation here, so that is all good. And temperature, pressure's all good. We'll put the packs off for now, open the isolation valve, cruising at 32,000 feet today. And if we have a look here, the cabin altitude, the pressurization schedule for 32,000 feet, on a cabin altitude of 6,600. 6,600 feet is set. The elevation in Medina is quite high, to make it a bit 2,100. It's like Madrid. Pressurization, auto. I'm going to put this to flight now. I should think, you see the outflow valve closing. I should think they have it at ground at this stage, but if you forget to do that, the aircraft won't pressurize. Position light on. MCP is all set. We'll just do a quick takeoff config warning. Excellent. Stab trim set. We're going to go full power for takeoff. It was quite heavy. 2.1 APR, I think it is. And oh yeah, we did a cargo fire test. Looking good. And the radios are all set. So yeah, just the SID, which I did cover very briefly. We're just going to be climbing straight ahead runway heading. we'll wait until ATC clears en route, and then we'll just update INS to SAvACC, or we can just simply intercept the 277 radial outbound for the VOR 13.3, and you can see, look, I have 277 tuned. We just need to identify the Riyadh VOR on 13.3, so we go to nav 1. There you are, that was quick. Kilo India Alpha, Kia. Other car brands are available. Superb. Hello, Captain says Scottish, hope you're doing well. Matthew Presley takes a moment of the hamsters to build momentum, love it. It's in the Max too, yeah, Michael, the Max is the same as the NG inside, pretty much. JS Amog, I have 2 questions, sir. Is there any reason for starting engine number 2 first? And also, in case of single engine taxi after arrival, which engine is shut down and why? So, yeah, I mean, in the 737 NG, it doesn't make any difference. You can start 1 first if you wanted to, but the reason is, you know, typically that's where the ground crew and all the equipment is, so the GPU, the dispatcher on the headset, so it's sort of, hold on, that doesn't make sense. Why are we starting engine 2 first then? Yeah, don't know. It's just the way it always has been. It's usually that's where the passengers are boarding and stuff, all the equipment's on the right, so, but yeah, when we do a crossbleed start, we start an engine on stand, start engine number 1 first, then we crossbleed to engine number 2. But yeah, it's just the way it's always been. Some aircraft, I think if I remember from the A300, they want you to start 2 first because that's where the brakes are powered from the hydraulic system powered by engine number 2. So that's the main reason. But yeah, we always start 2 first, then 1, and after landing, generally it's engine number 2 off first, because for the same reason, the reason I was saying, opposite to what I was going off there, is because, you know, that's where all the ground equipment is, the ground crew are waiting to plug the GPU on there. Pictures, isn't it because APU is pulling fuel from tank number 1? No, that doesn't make any difference. You can turn on a fuel pump. Well, it will be taking fuel from tank number 1, but it's not the reason why we start 2 first there. But yeah, good question. I'll have to double... Yeah, be online, maybe, but I've never really thought about it. It's just we always have started 2, then 1 first. Hello, hi sisters. Hello, Thomas Barr. He's always saying hello, sisters. I know you're a sister or something. Not sure. Anyway, let's grab our departure clearance now. Just turn down this rackety old GPU slightly. There we are. And we do have some AT6s. He's already contacted me. Here we also have Tower online. Oh, we also have ATIS as well. Well, let's grab the ATIS first, just to make sure that all the audio is working. There we are.
UNH1023. Airborne frequency 126.5. Acknowledge ATIS information echo.
Information echo.
Kinkale International Airport ATIS information echo. 1600. Expect ILS approach. Runways in use 33. Runway 33 right for departure.
Good.
Runway 33 left for arrival. Surface wind 010 degrees, 16 knots. Visibility 3,000 meters. Temperature +14. Dew point -1. QNH1023. Airborne frequency 126.5. Acknowledge ATIS information echo.
Excellent. We have information echo then. QNH is 1023. Look, there's a 747 there. Oh, look at that. That airline's that? Oh, it's the old school United Arab Emirates. I think he's in the FlyJSim. Excellent choice of aircraft, sir. 1023 for the QNH then, which is set here. And on the standby altimeter, which is over here. And we better set Jim's up as well. Over there, 1023. We'll get the AP up and running now. And then we'll grab our clearance. We do have Tower online now. And then Centre, which is the airborne frequency 1265. So I'll just tune up Tower. And we'll grab our departure clearance. We'll request whatever that departure was called, the Delta radar departure to join the airway, and then that's 118.6. Excellent. What was our stat? Echo 32. Right, let me just grab the clearance to use my push to talk button on the yoke, because I'm a lefty. I have to use my right hand on that. Who is it we're talking to again? What's the name of it?
Saudi 143, request taxi.
King Khalid International.
Saudi 1433, taxi Delta, Victor, Golf, hold short, runway 33, right, report ready for departure. Taxi Delta, Victor, Golf, hold short on runway 33 right, report ready for departure, Saudi 1433.
Tower, salam alaikum, it's Saudi 2 Mike Echo, stand Echo 32, information Echo, QNH 1023, requesting departure clearance to Madinah, requesting radar departure towards waypoint OERK.
Saudi 2 Mike Echo, Riyadh Tower, very good evening. Your agreed destination, Oscar Echo Mike Alpha, as filed, via flight plan route Yankee 216, Ivano 1 kilo departure, runway 33 right. Initially climb 8,000 feet and squawk 0253.
Cleared to Oscar Echo Mike Echo via flight plan routes to join the Yankee 216 airway via OERK, and then it's the Delta radar departure off runway 33 right, climbing to 8,000 feet, squawk 0253, Saudi 2 Mike Echo.
Saudi 2 Mike Echo, readback is correct. Information Echo, report ready for pushback and startup.
We'll go. Perfect, so we have 8,000 feet set, which is down here, and we've already briefed the radar departure runway 33 right, and the squawk just to come in as well, which is 0253. So there's a little bit of a known issue with the FlyJSim with one of the plugins, which comes in 0253, which comes with the aircraft, which is the TCAS. There's a plugin which provides TCAS traffic on one of the displays. I've actually deleted that plugin because it's known to cause crashes in the FlyJSim aircraft. It has in the past caused crashes for me, so I've actually disabled it altogether, so I have no TCAS. Although there is a transponder without hold, and VATSIM I'll appear on VATSIM traffic, but I've actually disabled that there. Excellent takeoff. Are you really a real pilot? Nah, I'm just kidding all these people. Okay, it's actually heartbreaking how long it's been taking. What's that you're referring to there, buddy? My startup, probably. Taylor, he shows us a Qantas 747 for me. Excellent. Pascal, can you show us a crossbleed start? Actually, you know what? I can do that in this aircraft. But I won't today, but I'll tell you what, on the next ZEBO stream, next public ZEBO stream, we'll simulate an inoperative APU, and we'll do a crossbleed start. Because I've got the APU up and running now, might as well use it. Right, he's on bus, bleed on. Get rid of that GPU, and we'll close the doors.
Saudi 433 approaching runway 33 right, ready for departure.
Minimums.
Close.
Saudi 1433 line up and wait runway 39.
And where's the GPU? GPU's disconnected. Excellent. Just wait until the doors are showing all closed. They're just stowing the air stairs at the moment, so if I go here you'll see it getting stowed. That's super cool. Love that chrome effect. It's such a cool livery. Elliot Smith, thanks for your continued support as ever. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Glad you're joining the content. Obviously, you know all about the Discord and the custom modes in chat. Thank you very much. Excellent. Talking about when Rotate will release the MD-11. Ah, Scott, you Mark. Okay. Yes, we've been developing that for years, but I did see a little preview of that. Very excited. No doubt that is an aircraft we'll pick up as well. Alright, I think we've got everything covered. So, what we'll do, we'll call better pushback. The reason is, with the yoke at the moment, let me just bring up yoke cam for you guys. If I select these reversers, they deploy, but it's only at max power. So when I stow them, it causes the engines to surge. So I will use them on landings.
3320 Stan 31 requesting clearance, please. To
and
Medina,
you'll see the surging engines, but I won't use power back today, which is a bit of a shame. But we'll get a bit of pushback ordered instead.
Ground to cockpit, please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit, the tow is driving up now.
Welcome. Just maybe he's a real pilot working at a cinema handling film somewhere. Maybe. This is all pre-recorded. I'm just talking over it.
Okay, 3320 clear destination, Yankee 216, Oscar Echo Mike Alpha.
Astro, recently learned if engines are not that a plane can't do tops. We don't usually tops from operator, but I should think that might be the case, yeah, because you need it as a backup source of power, I guess.
I didn't catch a
unless you've got a rat.
for 3320.
Oh, this guy's really loud. Yeah, no power back. Sorry, guys. Just to stop the engines from surging. Another thing, which is a bit of a pain, the speed brake lever as well. In the FlyJSim,
1 kilo departure, 3320.
the FlyJSim doesn't seem to.
Okay, all the doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Everyone's talking over me. The FlyJSim doesn't seem to recognise the fact that this is it arms it and then it gets stuck in the armed position, so it's a bit of a pain. Can't actually use it, so I have it disabled at the moment. So I'm only using the thrust levers. So.
Takeoff runway
250 knots
30 right,
buttons.
so 1450.
Anyway, we are all ready to go. Excellent, I'm just getting all my charts sorted.
Springbok 275 Alpha, stand 9. Echo, request push and start. Springbok 275 Alpha, hold position.
Get rid of that
Holding
one.
position, Springbok 275 Alpha.
So I have to push back onto Delta. That's the only way we can do it. And tower, Saudi 2 Mike, Echo standard, Echo 3-2, request push and start.
Saudi 2 Mike, Echo push and start is approved position to the south, QNH 1023.
Push start approved face south, QNH 1023, Saudi 2 Mike, Echo. Excellent, so pushing south onto Delta, it's the only way we can go, so let's go better pushback. Start pushback.
Ground to cockpit, please show me where you want to go.
Saudi 185 at stand 33 with information echo. Request IFR clearance to Madinah.
Ground to cockpit, the tow truck is connected and the bypass plane is inserted. Please release the parking brakes.
Let's do it. Parking brakes released.
Starting the pushback, you may start engines in sequence.
So loud, guys, sorry. Right our way.
126.5 Saudi on 433. Thank you, have a good day.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the pop down compass. It was so cool. Engine starts a little bit different then. I have to turn the galley power off and it's just 20% N2, which happens quite quickly when we put the fuel in. As soon as the low pressure light has extinguished, we can
Tower 3320 is fully ready, requesting clearance to push and start.
turn your mic down slightly, sir. Right, we're now starting engine number 2.
4156, 3320.
N2.
Minimums, approaching minimums.
Thanks, Arthur. I'll look at that in 2 seconds. N2. We have N1, just waiting for oil pressure to register. There's oil pressure.
Ready to copy for Saudi 185.
What do you think about the trend in business aviation replacing overhead panel switches and touch screens after the hour? Sounds here.
Cleared IFR to Oscar Echo Mike Alpha. Via
I mean, it's a future, isn't it, Arthur? A lot of
departure with
Gulfstream
radar
biz
vectors,
jets.
initial altitude 8,000, squawk 0 to
I just turned it off for a second. All the aircraft touchscreen now, like the Jetstreams, all those posh business jets have overhead touch screens. I personally like switches and buttons, and I think on commercial jet airliners there won't be many aircraft which have touch screens for overhead panels for essential systems and switches. But I know a lot of what is it? What's the spaceship? The Elon Musk spaceship. He's all touch screen, isn't it? Pretty cool. Anyway, thank you very much for your 3 members. N2. Just wait for oil pressure, and we have N1 rotation. All the Saudi aircraft there.
Operation complete, please set the parking brake.
Parking brake set.
Disconnecting the tow, please stand by.
Tower 3320, ready to push and start.
I hope this guy's not following me.
Push start approved, facing south on taxiway Echo on the QNH 1023, Alpaca 3, sorry, 3320.
Oh, he's obviously used to being Alpaca. He's one of my guys. Just watch your mic, but it's so loud. Right, disconnect. Maybe I'm that loud. Generators on, APUs off, star switches.
Pushing down to approach, facing south.
NCI's
5 Alpha.
close, packs on, auto off, flight and in auto, flaps, 25, there we are.
The tool is disconnected and the bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left hand side. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Flight controls, full forward, full back, and left, and right, here comes the rudders, full right and full left. That's all working. Okie-dory, recall. And, oh, I know what I forgot to do, is the performance for departure. So we always use a fixed thrust setting in the 200. Last but not least, takeoff, flap 5, set bugs, there we are. So V1 35, VR's 137, V2 142 knots.
Saudi 185 at stand 33, request push and start.
Bypass been seen. There's a Zemo mod on its way. Or level up perhaps. There we are. Number 4 taxi flow is already complete.
0233 for 185.
So it's not really that great, we'll just request taxi.
Saudi 185, hold position.
Hold position, Saudi 185.
And Saudi 2 Mike Echo request taxi.
Saudi 2 Mike Echo Taxi Delta Uniform and Golf Full Short runway 33 right and report ready for departure.
Delta Uniform Golf Hold Short 33 right, so we'll go Saudi 2 Mike Echo. Perfect, so we got our taxi instructions. Bear with me guys, I'm just controlling some stuff in the background. So Delta already on Delta, so first left onto Uniform, and then it's Golf, which is the first sort of right, well not the first right, you got Foxtrot first, then Golf, and then go on Golf to depart via 33 right. So all happy with where we are, so releasing the parking brake, and we'll do a config check, nice and smoothly, because you don't want the engines to surge on here, on these turbojet engines. No takeoff config warning, a little bit too much thrust maybe, but definitely checked. And we're on our way. The sounds on this are awesome. Okay, level up over Zebra. Change my mind. What, you want me to convince you? Well, the level up's excellent, and it's sort of where the Zebo mod was regards to flight model performance a while back, but Zebo mod was also there. Sorry, just enjoying the sounds first. We'll fly the level up again soon. Sounds are wicked. Gotta love 100 FPS or whatever this is. What is it right now? Oh, it's gone down to 80. Okay. Right, here's Uniform. There we are. Just mute the whole alerts. There we are. Multitasking here. God, I love having the quadrant with the two engines controlling separately. No auto throttle today as well. I'm going to set each individual engine. Oh, respect agreed, yeah. I think the sounds and the texture quality of the level up is much better than the Zebra mod, yeah. But as handling's not quite right at the moment on that thing. Takeoff, why does it say real 737 pilot tunnel stream? I hazard a guess, sir. So, Foxtrot and then Golf, so that's second right. There we are. So, not the first one, otherwise it'd be on Foxtrot. And here's Golf. Anthony's 80 FPS, but he still squares his turns. I was trying to turn the alert mute on, Anthony. Unbelievable. Virtual bird coming your way. It's quite hard because I'm having to use rudder pedals to turn. Because I don't have any twist function joystick. It's not working on my TCA Airbus stick at the moment. Now we're on Golf, and holding point, we didn't say, but we'll go via Golf 1, which is going to be our next left. And we'll complete the before takeoff checklist now. So config we checked, flaps we have 5 green lights, snap trim set for departure, which is about 5.2 units set. Takeoff briefing, packs are on, bleeds on, V-speed set for departure. They were 34, 37, 42 set. And they've got 250 knots, that's the eventual speed I want to fly. Actually it would be 220, 220 for the first turn. The departure we're flying is a Delta departure, it's just called Delta radar departure. Climbing straight ahead, radar vectors up to 8,000 feet, which is set on the altitude here. NADP2, so I'll accelerate at 3,000 feet. Any problems will climb straight ahead to the MSA, which I think is 5,000. Check's complete, so imagine the cabin is secure.
I'll take a 5-7 Lima, take the left and any stand ahead of you. Yes, sir. I'll take a 5-7 Lima.
Yeah, so just behind a Turkish. So I will turn the noise up inside.
Tower 3320, ready for taxi. Saudi 320, hold position. Hold position, 3320.
There we are. Cool, ready. And tower Saudi 2 Mike Echo, holding short 33 right, ready for departure.
Saudi 2 Mike Echo behind the departing company Boeing 737, line up and wait to runway 33 right timed.
Behind the company departing traffic, runway 33 right, line up and wait behind Saudi 2 Mike Echo. Well, I saw Turkish, I'm guessing that
Springbok 275 Alpha,
might be
request
him.
taxi.
There's no other
Springbok 275 Alpha confirm, push back to yourself on
no other aircraft, so line up and wait behind. There's no one on final. You did say departing, so
Springbok 275, we are currently facing west and on Echo. Springbok 275 Alpha, confirm, are you able to push further back to the south?
Transponder, TAR worry, and the weather radar is not currently working because I deleted all the plugins.
Unable, Springbok 275
because I
Alpha.
know it causes crashes, but we'll imagine it's working. There we are. So MCP is as set as we can have it.
Springbok Alpha. There's no taxiway in front of you, so I need you to push back to the south.
And transponder TRA strobe lights are on, holding for our takeoff clearance.
Pushing back to the south, it will just take a few minutes. Springbok 275 Alpha.
There we are.
Saudi 320, confirm ready for taxi.
Affirm, ready to taxi, Saudi 320.
Saudi 320, taxi Echo, Sierra and Golf, hold short, runway 33 right, report ready for
Mr. Has TCAS, yes.
Taxi Sierra and Golf, hold short, runway 33 right, Saudi 320.
Cool. So we'll climb straight ahead 8,000. We'll bug up at 3,000 feet. Again, we're going to wait until we get handed over to departures for our
Saudi 2 Mike Echo, the wind is 010 degrees, 16 knots, runway 33 right, clear for takeoff.
runway 33 right, clear for takeoff. Saudi 2 Mike Echo, and there's that automatic changeover to the frequency.
Saudi 2 Mike Echo, stay on my frequency and southwest.
Okay, excellent. So all clear for takeoff, guys. Let's get the tokens in chat. There's no timing on this aircraft, so we'll make a note of the time. It is 16:47 on our way. Oh, don't forget yoke cab. There we are, on our way, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll set about 40%. Parking brake's definitely released. Engine's looking all stabilised. Nothing's shooting off where it shouldn't be. We're now setting takeoff thrust. A little bit more, about 2.1% EPR, that's good. Takeoff thrust set indications, normal light forward pressure on the control column. Little left rudder coming in.
80 knots.
Checked, release that forward pressure. A little bit later on into wind, so with that crosswind coming in.
D1. Road rotate.
Up we go, 2 to 2.5 degrees per second. Keep the wings level during the rotation. There's that crosswind. There we are, we're airborne. Woo, neutralise. Crosswind climb. Where's my gear? There it is, gear up. And trim. Whoa, need to get my nose up a little bit more. Beautiful. Trying to hand fly still. Oh, go the wrong way. Amazing. There we are.
Saudi 185 ready
Bug up
to
for
push
now,
and start.
so going to lower the nose to about 10 degrees, let the aircraft accelerate.
Saudi 185, push and start is approved.
Trim nose down as we accelerate. Climb thrust coming in now, so about 92% N1.
Push and start approved on to Echo facing South QNH 1023, Saudi 185.
And flaps up.
Saudi 2 Mike Echo, contact data control 126.5, bye-bye.
126.5, Saudi to Mike Echo, Maslama. Okay, so we'll accelerate to 220 knots, contact departures. 220 knots, let's get that trimmed out. Level off at 8,000 anyway, that's looking good. Departures, hello, it's Saudi 2 Mike Echo on the radar vector departure, maintain runway heading 8,000 feet.
Saudi 2 Mike Echo, data control, good evening, you are identified departure, continue climb, flight level 200, maintain runway heading 4 now.
Maintain runway heading, climb flight level 200, Saudi 2 Mike Echo. Okay, so just going to get the automation in, automatics are in, going to go indicated airspeed hold, which is set, that was quite good, fun, and set 220, and we'll just maintain 220 knots, want to get as high as possible.
Qatar 85, total heading 310, clear direct approach 34 center report staff. Right heading 310, clear direct approach 34 center, I'll call you back, establish Qatar 85.
Why has everyone today got their microphones in their
Saudi
mouths?
433, request 30 minutes out of the cockpit.
So loud.
Saudi
Right, so I've
1433, could you please just stay with me
VATSIM
for a
volume is on
bit?
1 out
I
of
have
100.
traffic close to you, so I just want
Right,
to make sure.
after takeoff,
you're on
check this
the
gears
system.
off, water brakes off,
Okay, no problem.
off, three tracks off, air conditioning pressurization, 2.9 set, and release the cabin crew. There we are, check's complete. So yeah, we're just going to maintain runway heading. 1013 is set twice and 3 times. And this is essentially what this departure is if we bring up the SID chart. And then we'll eventually get a turning on route towards hopefully SAvACC.
And 31433, no speed restriction.
No speed restriction.
Oh yeah,
Saudi
200.
433.
Yeah, I just noticed that. 220, thank you. A little bit quieter for you guys. There we are. So 220 knots still. Again, there's
Saudi
no
2 Mike Echo, speed 290 knots.
speed 290 knots. Saudi 2 Mike Echo. So 290. An indicated airspeed hold. So as we increase the speed, the aircraft will pitch down to accelerate to 290. Muscle memory, was it? Oh my god, did you guys see the muscle memory? I was not, you know, because obviously my capacity is quite high because I'm flying the 200, the pitch is a little bit unresponsive in the FlyJSim. Was I actually going like this with the gear, with my hand waving around? That was definitely muscle memory. Maybe that proves I am a real pilot. I'll have to play that back in a bit. Yeah, that was tough, and that wind is quite strong from the east there. I was having to make quite a lot of crossing correction, and actually, credit to FlyJSim and X-Plane. Did you notice during the rotation how I had to input the aileron into wind? That is very typical of having to make a cross.
Saudi 2 Mike Echo, proceed direct to Vonio.
Just confirm the points again for Saudi 2 Mike Echo.
Saudi 2 Mike Echo, proceed direct to Vonio. India Victor Oscar November uniform.
Okay, I don't have.
Center, hello, it's Saudi 320. If you pass in
So I have
3,500
OERK.
to 8,000 on the Inver 1.
So I'm just going to go direct to that one. I don't Who's this shouty guy again?
Saudi 320 standby, breakback Saudi 2 Mike, could you copy?
Yeah, okay, so I can only fly my flight plan route, so my first waypoint is OERK, Oscar Victor Echo Kilo Uniform, and then Yankee 216. Is that okay for you?
Yep, that seems to be okay. Proceed direct to Vic.
Oh, okay. Right, let's go direct to that.
Saudi 320, thanks.
So,
you are identified the
waypoint change, 01, insert, GPS,
Climb flight level 300, Saudi 320.
Vorlock.
Saudi 320, negative 2,
There we are, and we're on our way.
Flight level 200, Saudi 320.
I'm sorry about that guy, man. He just be... It's very hard to control the volume on VATSIM. Can't turn it any lower than this. Unfortunately, you can't... This doesn't work, so you can't... What I usually do is control the volume further lower in here in the aircraft. Some aircraft have that compatibility. Unfortunately, not compatible in the FlyJSim aircraft. Anyway, we can do the pre-cruise checks now. So fuel 4 pumps. We do have that little bit in the centre tank. I think it might have actually fed it. Yeah, look, 200 kilos. I'll try and get that out in a bit. I think if I turn it on now, look, we're just going to get low pressure.
Saudi 320 now.
Yeah, so we'll put those on.
250, Saudi 320.
We'll put those on in
Just
the
Am I clear now?
cruise. Lights coming off. AP's off.
Saudi 320, please just confirm it's 250.
Pressurization 4.9.
250 knots, Saudi 320.
Set seatbelts.
Saudi 1433. You can now go for a break. 3 button back.
Chest complete. So there we are. INS is now. Oh look, it's like a temperature. It's like a temperature inversion. Look, that looks really realistic. All that lovely ortho I downloaded, you can't even see it. There we are. So 290 knots. That's our assigned speed by ATC. We're now routing direct.
Saudi to my peak on speed section. Continue climb flight level 320.
Free speed climb now, flight level 320. Saudi to Mike. Okay, thank you. So 320 sets. That's our final cruise level. And there we are. We're routing direct to OERK, and then from OERK we're going to go join the Yankee 216 airway towards Sodib. There we are. Superb. Yeah, I guess he said OERK. Yeah, I think that's what he was trying to say.
Descend to 6,000 feet.
That's got 6,000 feet.
He's carrying live dogs. The cargo hold. Excellent. Hope you're doing well, Mike. Nice to see you in chat. Pilot Mike, ladies and gentlemen, is a good friend of mine who's a 787 first officer. We went to school together. Hope you're doing well, bud. I think YouTube's a bit broken at the moment because YouTube today, the YouTube analytics page was really slow to respond. And for some reason, I don't know if you guys are getting it, but in chat, all the members, I see your membership epaulet, so I know you're a member, but you're not coming up as green for me. You're all coming up as grey, which is a bit weird. I've never seen it do that before. You want to see something very depressing on this sector, though? Let's go to wind. Look at that, 261 at 80 knots. It's directly on the nose at an 80 knot headwind. That's why it's taking us almost an hour and a half to get to Madinah today. And just make sure we've got our thrusts here. I want to have about 92%, so we'll be making lots of fine adjustments there. So I'm just going to add a little bit of thrust there to get to 92. So there's a slight split there. That should do us quite nicely. No auto throttle on this, remember.
Minimums, approaching minimums.
God, this aircraft is out.
Saudi Airspace hello, LTR 89 Sierra, flight level 330 with you.
Ah, that's better.
Alkia 895, video control, Assalamu alaikum and good evening, please subscribe 3026.
Please repeat call for Alkia 89 Sierra.
Alkia 89 Sierra, squawk 3026.
There we are. Just sort the volumes out. Beautiful. Hi, 2 tons, 25 months as a member is crazy. Finally have the alpaca badge by my name. Mega amazing 2 tons. Thank you very much for being a member for the channel for 2 years. That's crazy. Thank you very much, buddy. You have the top of the end, top of the range rank badge, the alpaca with the pilot hat on. I made that myself, did you know? Thank you very much, buddy, and hope you can make the next race as well.
Look
Look at this landscape. It's just desert. And this is zoom level 15 ortho, guys.
Just redirect to your V2 speed 290, 3320.
32, correction 320 OV2, proceed direct to OV.
OVQ 290 knots, 3320.
You'll notice on this sector actually with the big maps there's quite a few colour changes, unfortunately. Overall the quality's really good.
Is that possible that I will go off the cockpit?
Yes, it was Bing Dreamless.
20 minutes, please.
Hi Juliet Mike, what's the difference between course and heading? Sorry, I'm not so into it. No problem, Juliet Mike. So heading is where the nose of the aircraft is pointing. In fact, this isn't the best demonstration because of the wind on the head. Let's imagine the wind was coming from the south, and if we want to fly a particular course, our current course is 263, let's say the wind's coming from the south, we have to point the nose of the airplane, the heading of the aircraft, into the wind to fly a certain course. Best way to imagine this, if you imagine you want to cross a river that's flowing from left to right, see my mouse cursor going like this, and you want to end up straight ahead, when you start rowing you don't want to point the nose, the heading of the boat straight towards where you want to end up because you'll just be pushed downstream. But if you point the nose of the boat towards the flow, towards the river, you'll row in the same direction as you want to go. So your heading is where the nose of the airplane is, your track, your course is where is the direction you're travelling in.
Saudi 320, continue climb flight level 360.
Continue climb, flight level 360, 3320.
Lucian, you'd like to see the 767 engine installed in this aircraft. I don't think it would fit.
Continue right heading 320, clear direct approach 353 Boston.
So got two DME distances here. This is DME off the INS from our current waypoint, so we've got 48 miles to run until we get to OERK. This is the DME range from the Riyadh VOR, so 55 miles away. So we're going to maintain 290 knots until we get to about decimal 72, which is the speed we're cruising at today. It's a little bit slower. L. Smith, strange that PMDG is releasing the 700 first and then the rest later on. Really? So they're releasing the 700 as the launch version. That's unusual. Why not the 800? 800 is... I mean, that's their PMDG NGX with the 800 and it's the most common aircraft. That's a bit unusual. Oh, they'll have their reasons, no doubt. Andrea Harder, what's the difference between course radar and track? Oh my goodness me. Ask me that 10 years ago, I'll give you a more exact answer. A radial is just a radial off of VOR, so I always say course, heading we already discussed. Aaron, is it the 777 engine wider than the whole 737 cabin? Yes. I think you can get the entirety, even of the NG, fuselage roof is exactly the same, but you can get it, all of that into the, with the 777. Crazy. We've got some more hotel foyer lobby music for you today. Just random tracks that play.
One Stephen Alpha, expect it's step 1 hotel arrival for ILS 35.
It's step 1 hotel arrival for runway 35, Alpha 17.
Ah yes, but Julia, what's the deal with the 5G conflicting with radio altimeters, issuing no times causing problems with Cat 1 and Cat 2 approaches? I need to read into it a little bit more, but in the US, I think they found that the 5G frequency interferes with the radio altimeter. I was reading an article about it in, what's that magazine called? I was actually reading it in the supermarket. What's that, Aviation? magazine crew. I was actually just picked it up and had a look at it. It was through the radio altimeter. I think it's quite close to the frequency.
Alright, so station at
And it can in certain instances perhaps affect it, but I don't know enough about it. But yeah, it should affect Cat 1. It's anything that we use radio altimeter for, so Cat 2, Cat 3 auto lands basically.
Confirmed, Springbok 275 outside.
Pilot Mike, I'm sure I've heard that music in one of my hotels I stayed at recently. Well, it's from a royalty-free music playlist, so probably.
Singapore 275 Alpha, Roger, that was for you. Climb flexible.
Try and turn ATC up here slightly because I can't hear the controller.
Climb to flight level 200, speed to 15 knots. Springbok 275
So that guy's got his radio set perfectly. So I'm going to start slowing the speed back. We were told 290, but if I maintain 290 all the time, we'll be exceeding MMO, because I want to cruise at decimal 7.2. I should think we might get a maximum cruising speed. So as you see, if I maintain the Mach number, bring the speed back, our rate column's going to increase.
Roger, Golf Sierra Victor 61, you can continue visually. However, I don't control currently and the airport due to
Eddie, remember, how do you deal with inputting step
high
climbs
amount
on
of
the
traffic I have in my airspace.
7,
So I
8?
will switch to Unicom
So I guess you mean 7 3 there, Eddie, especially as generated by Simbri if you put it in manually. Yeah, so in the 737, it won't automatically step climb. You can put it in the FMC to provide information, tell you about how much fuel you'll save, and information like that, but we very rarely use it. What we typically do is just stick with the flight plan. Where the step climb comes on the flight plan or you climb, we just simply request climb and update the cruise level in the FMS. Correct. Seems like a sensible answer. 5G interferes with frequencies used by the radio altimeter, so multiple systems are affected. Cat 2 unauthorised with an active 5G NOTAM as well as RNAV RMP authorisation required. Very interesting, crew as well. But this doesn't seem to be going on in Europe. I've not seen anything in Europe or anything issued by EASA regarding limitations with 5G and Cat 2 approaches. So on our RMP authorisation required. We need a much lower RMP for that. We don't fly AR approaches. We do RNAV approaches, but LNAV, VNAV.
Free speed 5 for Saudi 320, thank you.
Q, thoughts on the coming rotate MD-11? Well, I'm a big fan of their MD-80. We've flown that a few times, so yeah, we'll definitely fly. I've not looked into it enough, but they've been developing that aircraft. Briefly touched upon it at the start of the stream. It's been in development for years, hasn't it? So yeah, really great. Craig, US 5G uses a higher frequency than Europe. You guys seem very clued up on it all. And training pilot and Steve NG. There you go.
Jeddah Control, good day. Saudi 185 passing 6,200 feet for 8,000.
Crash news, important that V1 is always before VR. Because if you've reached your rotate speed but can't rotate the aircraft for some reason, you can know when you can still do an RTA and when you can't. Very true, Prashnu, very true.
Start level 200, speed 250 knots, Saudi 185.
Very cool. Yeah, so you can see that some of the big maps here looks like colour corrections have been made, some of them are a bit dodgy. But around Riyadh and around Madinah, they're really nice. Approaching off a coup.
Very good evening to you. Etihad 87, currently at flight level 203, climbing up to flight level 250.
Oh, the box kind of looks old, it is old.
Etihad 87, Jeddah Control, Assalamu alaikum and good evening. Continue climb and you are identified flight level 25, Cockpit 210, continue climb flight level 360.
Climb up to 360 for Etihad 87.
Lauren, the issue is in the US. So the lack of regulation of power output and antenna orientation around airports compared to Europe and Japan. Okay. This is beyond my skill set and knowledge.
Saudi 185,
But yeah, no limitations or issues in Europe, which is probably why I've not heard anything, but obviously causing a little bit of
Could you please
few problems in
report the waypoints
in
again?
the
I
US.
will give you direct to OBQ. So Saudi 185, just stand by for a bit. I will give you direct as the other traffic. We'll go for 185.
Beautiful. So this is live weather in Saudi right now, but we are 12 hours behind live time because it would be night otherwise. So we are 1708 Zulu right now, but in the sim, where's the clock here? We're 0508 Zulu. So the clock actually looks like it's correct, to be fair. That's why I live stream 12 hours behind live time.
We'll come back to and thank you for report.
So airborne now for 22 minutes, so we've only just reached 30,000 feet. Just keep bringing that speed back, so we maintain 7.2. I can't really add much more thrust because I'll overheat the engines. Chris, another interesting thing is we have logic inhibiting, I guess. We're getting it on critical
Minimums.
messages while we
Approaching
take off from
minimums.
up to 80 knots based on weight and wheel sensor, but above 80 knots RA. Very interesting. Crew rest, what's your background? You seem to be very knowledgeable, I like that. We have lots of guys coming in here, all great tidbits and information. Philippe, simulations or I think that is. Thanks to 11 months as a member. I capped watched the audio checklist live stream, replay for Zebo, and laughed out loud when the "Are You a Real Pilot" from Andy came out. Almost 1 year of support. Thank you very much, Philippe. I was in tears. It was 2 days ago. I couldn't see out my glasses. It was brilliant. I had no idea that was coming as well. Yeah, a great add-on, a great checklist. So if you missed the last live stream, guys, we were trialling a new audio checklist, which is now available to download completely for free. It's basically an interactive checklist for the Zebo mod. It'll look at your switches and configuration, and it'll tell you if it's not in the right configuration and advise you what you need to do in a humorous way. So in the case of choosing Andy, it'll quote several different things if you got it wrong, and one of them is, "Are you a real pilot?" And it caught me off my guard and I nearly lost it. Cheers, Philippe. Thanks for the almost year support, buddy. Thank you.
Below new 1 hotel arrival for ILS approach 35.
Daniel, hi. First, I love your video. Saw your old Concorde video, and your custom checklist is much better. Is there a way we could buy it? Oh, Daniel, you don't need to buy that at all. It's made by one of the members. You're talking about the alpaca checklist, aren't you? So if you look at my most recent Concorde stream, Daniel, if not the one before it, if I remember rightly, I pinned a comment with a link to that checklist. It's from Jordan, one of the members who made that. So check out one of my last 2 or 3 Concorde videos and you'll see it definitely in a pinned comment. If you can't find it, just message me on one of the, or comment on one of the Concorde videos and I'll post the link.
290 knots for Saudi 185.
Crew West, you're an Embraer 175 first officer in a US airline. Very cool, Crew West. Do you know Matthew Presley? He's around here. Excellent.
Saudi 185, Juliet to take control. Hello, you are identified departure.
Yeah, all very different in the US. You have to do your 1500 hours on an aircraft like that before you ever get your hands on a 737. Here in Europe, I mean, I flew the 737, started flying when I had about 300 hours. I'm nearly on 5,000. It's crazy.
Requesting expected runway and arrival on Oscar Echo
Okay, but is there any point in getting premium deluxe because I've got standard edition of Microsoft FlyJSim? Standard's fine. You just get some different airports and different aircraft, but they're all stock aircraft. They're fun, arcadey, but standard version's completely fine. Thank you, Daniel. And to Antonoons, thank you for your membership. Sorry, I've completely cooked that. Welcome on board. Glad you enjoy the content. You get invited to our members-only Discord. Hope you enjoy using the customized chat. Take care of yourself. And we'll see you in the members Discord, Daniel. Thank you. Oh, you don't know, crew is very cool. Well, welcome to the chat anyway. We have so many guys popping in, all levels of experience and discussing such interesting points in aviation. Most of the time you guys are testing me beyond my knowledge, which is good. But you guys ask me some fantastic questions, ones that I need to review myself, and it's like, oh, I could do a looking that up and increase my knowledge. Anyway, look, 25 minutes airborne, and we've only just reached 32,000 feet. We were so heavy, I think we might just be below our max landing weight now. Yeah, gross weight's now 47.4 tons. Max landing weight, where is it? It's 47.6. Look, yeah, we've just gone below our max landing weight by 300 kilos now. So we are very heavy today. Now we are 320, so we'll set cruise power. Just got to do this manually. Should be about EPR about 1.82. So reducing the thrust now. There we are. And that should give us about decimal 72, decimal 73. It's about 85% N1. And we've still got that 200 kilos in the centre tank, so I'll try and put the centre tank pumps on. Now, in the 200, I think there was a different way of getting the fuel out than the 800. Now, I have put the centre tank pumps on. I can super zoom into the needle. It doesn't seem to be budging. Yeah, the fuel... You had to do something a bit funky with the centre pumps on the classics, which you don't have to do on the engines. Saudi Mike Echo, say again?
Saudi Mike Echo expects it's a 1 hotel arrival for ILS approach 35.
Roger, we're unable to fly any RNAV approaches. We're non RNAV equipped, so we can't do any of the RNAV arrivals. So we'd like to request the current airway we're on, Yankee 216, direct to the VOR for either vectors or the DME arc.
Alright, Saudi 25, Echo in this case I will Victor, so it's just expect radar Victor 35.
Roger, thank you very much. Perfect, so...
And could you please just confirm it?
So radar vectors expected for runway 35, Saudi 2 Mike Echo.
Thank you.
Perfect. So, what I was trying to say there, guys, I'll show you. So we're now on the airway. Let me just... we're on the Yankee 216 airway, which takes us all the way to the VOR over the airfield. So what I was actually planning on doing was getting vectors at some point. The problem is, if we select the arrival airport here,
Mike Alpha for
have a look at the stars here, okay? They're all RNAV. RNAV star, RNAV star, RNAV star, RNAV, RNAV, RNAV. You need RNAV 1, okay? RNAV 1 requires a flight management computer. RNAV 5 is what we are. So RNAV 5 is INS navigation, accurate within 5 miles on routes. RNAV 1 required for all stars basically worldwide. So we can't fly this. You can't program each of these waypoints in the INS and fly it. So there's not a single star that we can fly into this airport. So, if you have a look here at ILS 35, this is what I sort of did to cater for this. We're on this Yankee 216 airway right now in a straight line towards the airport. If you look here, Yankee 216 is actually... appears on the chart. It's an outbound on the 078 radial, so we're going to be, whatever the inbound is, the reciprocal, sorry, 258, until 16 miles. So the plan I was going to get, if we're going to get vectors anyway, but what I was going to do is go to 16 miles and then intercept the 16 mile arc. So we can either get vectors, we can request this, so basically a straight line, distance about 17-18 miles. We can then just intercept that 16 mile arc, turn 10, twist 10, all the way until we get to the 157 radial, and then intercept the localizer onto the ILS. So this is what I'd do if there was no ATC, and this would be sort of a procedural approach. And it's they're quite flexible, these approaches. You can come in from any direction and just intercept, look, this airway, all these radials that are on the chart, 078, 093, 114, are based on airways to the VOR, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's what I was sort of planning here. At the planning stage anyway. But if we get vectors, that makes my life a lot easier, so I don't mind. 321 Sjord, thank you very much for becoming a member. You've been watching my videos for a while, so glad you enjoy the content. You get invited to our members only Discord. Hope you enjoy using the customized chat. Thank you very much indeed. Appreciate it, buddy.
Number 1, Mike 434 Centre, Saudi Arabian Airlines.
Hi, Guilherme. Captain, I've got a question for you. In European Airlines during boarding, they hang this torch-looking thing by the boarding doors. They usually hang it under the overhead bins. Never know what it is. No idea. Like, what's that?
3185
Crazy. You've got flying some ancient airline which has like a lantern or something. No idea, buddy. Sorry.
Book 275 Alpha, continue climb flight level 360.
Continue climb flight level 360, bring back to 75 Alpha.
Prashnu, hey, I have another question for you. How do you get time to make videos for the channel when you're an airline pilot? Is it because pilots get way more leave and desk jobs? Well, Prashnu, I work for a European airline, and typically certain airlines, you know, on a short haul, medium haul, the flying in winter gets a lot quieter, so there's not as many flights. So some of the aircraft are put into storage for the winter, and then rotate them around. So yeah, it's always quieter in the winter, busier in the summer. Don't forget we're still in this pandemic, which has now been going for 2 years almost, which further hampers demand with Omicron. The demand for flying in January, February basically crashed in Europe. So there was a lot of flight cancellations at my operator. So yeah, at the moment I'm flying on average once every 10 days, about 3 or 4 times a month. In the summer you'll see the streams cut down a lot, maximum 1 a week. At the moment I've got a lot of free time. So yeah, I'm squeezing in 2 or 3 streams a week at the moment. I've got a group flight on Saturday with the members, and I am on duty this weekend. I'm on standby all weekend though, so they share the flights out along some of the crew members, and I got a couple of flights last weekend, no flights this weekend, but I am on standby.
Thank you, I will call when I'm back in the cockpit then.
Excellent. Right, so we're actually inbound to a new waypoint on our flight plan called Damel. This is the second INS waypoint I programmed, so it's pretty much halfway along the airway. Here it is, it's the waypoint Damel. And then from Damel direct to the VOR, we'll eventually get vectors. But all I want to do at this stage is tune this VOR. This VOR frequency is 14.1, it's the Medina VOR, 14.1.
225, Bravo,
So we're doing standby, and I can put on active actually. Well, I say active on the left box. 113, which is the ILS So we're out of range at the moment. Range about 200 miles on this VR. Should come up at some point. Top of descent. I'll tell you how I calculated that shortly. It's quite a complicated one, but it's also got quite a strong headwind. Remember at the moment, headwind right now. Look, 253 at 98 knots. So it's pretty much still, we've got a 100 knot headwind at the moment, absolutely atrocious. So we want to actually delay our top of descent by about 10 miles. About every 10 knot headwind, you want to descend a mile later, and vice versa. 10 knot tailwind, you want to descend a mile sooner. It's just rough mathematics, really. What's our ground speed? Yeah, 337 knots, that's really slow. And we're doing 7.4, actually doing a little bit quicker. So what I'll do is I'll just take a little bit of thrust off. But we'll start setting up for the approach shortly. When the VOR DME range comes in, we're almost halfway. Do some external views. If I had that on, full volume, guys, you'd be deafened. So loud this aircraft. Stapler cam action. Cheers, Body Shed Records. Thanks to the great stream. Appreciate it, buddy. Astro, have you flown a Max? I've flown the Sim, not the real aircraft. Rachel here, hi Captain, can you show us how to figure out the minimums for an approach? It's not really having to figure out anything, you're just checking a chart and setting its raid, which we'll be doing shortly. Maxwell got it, what a gorgeous area, absolutely. Flyby is requested any member.
143, we'll come back, you are clear,
so yeah, you see these lines in again, that's the Bing maps not being colour corrected. The livery is awesome.
Clear via SIP 1 Hotel, runway 35, Saudi 143.
Max, so these engines don't really have a bypass ratio, do they? I think they have a very, very small amount, or are they completely turbojet? I cannot remember. I think we discussed this before. But yeah, essentially, it's all the thrust is from the exhaust gas.
Flight level 150, cross Butik at flight level 200, Saudi 1433.
Awesome. It's just nice to go in a different airline, different part of the world. We've never streamed in Saudi Arabia before. And actually, the Saudi Arabia VATSIM website looks amazing. Like, really professional. I think they're quite active on VATSIM. They have a whole VACC all set up. Looks really cool. Raid to here, what plugin is that to control the volume? B2 volume control. No, those maps look shocking. That's not great. Wish it's a bit cloudier now. But that's zoom level 15. I use 15 en route, which is more than sufficient. The tile sun is only half a gig. And they do have a very small amount of bypass. It's just nice to be back in the Classic again. I can't. Last time we flew this, we did a flight to. I think it was. Oh my god, where is what the island's called in the Atlantic? I can't even remember where we went to now. Is it Porto Santo? I think it was Porto Santo. Ben Matthews, need to see the Britannia livery on the aircraft again. That was my first ever stream in the FlyJSim 737-200. God, that must be over 2.5 years ago now. It's one of my earlier streams, that was. VX7 iOS, Captain, have a question. If you get dual engine failure after V1, would you still continue? Well, you don't really have much choice in the manual to VX7 iOS. But that's one of those incredibly rare situations. I mean, V1 you're committed to going, but if you've got both engines failed, well, you're not going anywhere. So yeah, you would attempt to stop, and if you were field length limited, you're probably going to go off the end of the runway. But remember, if the runway is 4,000 metres long, there's probably a sufficient runway left. But in any other situation, V1, you are committed to take off, unless it is that catastrophic that getting airborne is going to cause a serious accident. But again, it's more dangerous to reject above V1 than to ever commit to stopping, unless there's a catastrophic situation like that. Yeah, the Azores, that's it, Jaden. That's where we went to in our last FlyJSim stream, which was ages ago.
226, descent 6,000 feet, speed 190 knots.
Look, DME range has just come in now, 196 miles, so that's exactly how far we are. It's exactly how far away we are from our destination.
38.5 Juliet, descent initially flight level 150 cross Nomda flight level.
Raid, have I ever been to Saudi Arabia? I haven't, Raid, Shahir, no. I must be honest, I don't know much about Saudi Arabia. Did they call it the gem in the... It's got a name of it. I did see, I did a little bit of research there, but I think Medina's quite a holy city, isn't it? I think a lot of Saudis travel there.
Okay, 27 Alpha, expect except 1 hotel arrival for ILS approach runway 35.
Beautiful.
Expect EZ1 Alpha arrival for runway 35.
Gwen, what's the furthest flight you've ever done in your career, would you say? From a Scottish airport to the Canary Islands, the longest flight I've ever done. And we're headwind, flight time's over 5.5 hours.
10,000 feet, 1024, Packer 1 South.
Gwen Jones, you just tagged at flight deck sim. What's that? Scrolling up. What happens if you would have a single engine failure at V2? Well, V2 is your takeoff safety speed, so as long as you're at that speed, you should be able to maintain directional control of the aircraft, because it'll at least be above the MCA. But yeah, just continue with the engine fail. pitch to maintain at least V2, which on modern aircraft like the NG, I say modern aircraft, not modern at all, but the flight directors will command the correct speed to fly. Toga's engaged, so follow the flight director smoothly, otherwise pitch to maintain at least V2. Hi Rory Heap, hope you're doing well, buddy. Long time, well, say long time no see, you're here most streams, long time no speak I should say. Why do you like flying the 737-200 Classic? I like flying it because I'm 737 through and through, and the 200s is all steam gauge instruments, Rory, so there's no screens in this thing, it's all analog needles. We're navigating, not using a flight management computer, we're using conventional navigation, so we're tuning in VORs and tracking them. In the case now we're using something called the INS, the Inertial Navigation System, which is basically a system which works out where you are on the planet, and the aircraft can use it to navigate. So yeah, it's just a rewarding way of flying, a way flying was done every day 50 years ago, and you can do in the comfort of a simulator. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Excellent, 180 miles to go. We better just get to the ident for the VOR, so let's listen to that. Medina 14-1. It's
226, and I think 3203, that is approach 3 twice about to start.
So listen to it on nav 2 at least, because that's where we're using it. Oh, there we are. There we are, that's Papa Mike Alpha and Morse code. Get the DME as well, should do both. There we are, so we've identified Papa Mike Alpha, that is the correct VOR, we've got the DME distance from there. So, calculating top of descent, how are we going to work that out? So, we're sort of routing towards... If we're going to get vectors, it's going to be around the same point we start this arc. And if you were to start this arc here, look, you've got a 15 miles towards Optox, it's probably another 15 miles towards this point here. So it's about 30 miles to touchdown at this point here. So 30 miles, we want to be at 9,000 feet. Now, must take into account here the elevation. We're 2,000 feet above sea level here. So 9,000 feet at this point, it's actually quite low. We want to be at about 11,000 feet, if that makes sense, because taking the elevation into account. So 16 miles away, 11,000 feet. So we can work out from that point backwards how many miles away we need to start our top of descent point. Now, to keep the maths easy, instead of 11, let's call it 10. If we're 10,000 feet at 16 miles, that's pretty close to where we want to be. So 10 miles, 10,000 feet at 16 miles, we're at 32,000 feet, so we've got to lose 22,000 feet prior to being at 16 miles, okay? So 22,000 feet, take the 22, times that by 3 is 66, okay? 66 nautical miles away from the VOR. Not quite, remember, because we've got to add 16, okay? So 66 plus 16, 76, 82. So 82 miles before Papa Mike Alpha is where we want to start our descent, okay? But 82 miles, we still haven't finished with that. We've got to remember we've got this whopping great big headwind as well. So 82 miles. I think I might have lost some people in chat there, but if you have any questions, I'll happily answer it. 82 miles. What's our headwind component here? It's about 100 knots. So 82, let's subtract 10 from that. 72 miles from Papa Mike Alpha, and that should be a good point at which to start our top of descent. So 82 miles in still wind, we've got 100 knot headwind. We start our top of descent when this says 72. 72, we should be good for a sort of continuous descent to our destination, allowing for vectors all DME arc. I hope that makes sense. Yes, thank you, Mohammed. Yeah, we realise you're Muslim, but we do avoid, religious talk and things like that here. We are obviously in Saudi Arabia this evening, so salam alaikum to you, sir, and thank you very much for joining the stream. Lots of peace emojis. Don't need to spam the chat there as well, buddy. We hear you, my friend. Ollie Plays, this is a fun plane flight. It is, absolutely. Anyway, let's carry on chatting about the rest of this approach. So, he advised, or the ATC control advised we get vectors. If not, we could just simply carry on that 078 radial intercept there. the DME arc.
All
All the way around until 157 radial onto the ILS. Now, because we're in the Classic, I can't really do much. Final approach course I want to set once we're under vectors, so I'm going to leave it set to the inbound course for now. ILS is on standby, 1113. 5 DME, we want to be at 5,100 feet. Although, sorry, 5.1, we want to be at 3,700 feet, so that is that point there. Final approach fixes at 7.6 DME. Minimum, so our friend was asking in chat, how do you calculate minimum? So we're in a Category C aircraft today. We confirm what's the missed approach climb gradient we can fly, so 2.5% is the standard one. Slightly steeper missed approach climb gradient gives you slightly lower minimums, but you just got to make sure you can obviously climb that. We'll go for the 2.5. And the minimum's 2,540 feet, which is 477 feet AGL. Now to get 247, wasn't it? That was sounding 247. So yeah, just to get the MDA light, I'm actually going to set the radio altimeter to 477. You wouldn't set that for a Cat 1, but it just gives me the MDA light, which is pretty cool. Just here, look, this light come up. But we must remember that it's the height that's important, so with the QNH sets, the minimum is 2,540 feet, we need 1,500 metres RVR. Now, looking at the latest weather conditions, yeah, I think, I guess he was going to get timed out, thanks guys. The minimum, the weather in Madinah this evening is beautiful. Cav OK, light winds, 18 degrees, QNH is 1024, so perfect weather conditions. If we have to go around, climb 6,000 feet, passing 5 miles from Papa Mike Alpha. It's a right turn, radial 060, then establish again on the DME arc to Guerrier to hold. So that's the missed approach. I'm going to say 8,000 feet all around. And that's it really. Here's the point here about all aircraft inbound must maintain the airway specific inbound radial until established on the 16 DME arc. So I've basically got to stay on that radial unless I get vectors until established on the DME arc, which we're planning for, except if you're coming on these particular airways. In all cases, follow instructions by ATC. There we are, so that's it. Airport then, landing on runway 35. Look at this, 4,300 metres long, super long, no issue performance wise. So we're going to just go flat 30, order brake minimum. We'll try and vacate at Juliet 4 here, and we'll vacate to the right where I think the main terminal is on the east apron. There seems to be lots of stands there anyway, so we'll vacate to the right at Juliet 4. That's it. Not much to say. I'll try and do the DME arc, but I should even get vectors. If you have any questions about the approach, feel free to ask in chat. One of the things about this aircraft is, because yes, it is a little more complicated. The great thing about this aircraft, albeit a little bit more classic, you know, conventional navigation in the INS, there actually is less programming and entering information because there's no FMC. And this is why I have to set up for each phase of flight. I can't really set the courses for the ILS now because I will need them to navigate later. In fact, I'll actually turn off INS navigation now and go to VOR. So what I'll do is match the heading, quickly go over to runway heading, so heading select, runway heading select. We'll set the inbound course, which, just to remind me, is 258. Oh yeah, we need to go to conventional nav, so nav 258, and you can look, we're already pretty much established on the radial, so I can now go to Vorlock. The aircraft's now flying conventionally, no longer on INS, but inbound on the 078 radial from the VOR, so all conventional navigation now, old school. Do you not use flight directors? I don't, Burrow, not in this aircraft, because the flight directors, you can get them, so you can have Vorlock look, so the autopilot's following that, you can have out hold, but I only use it on approach, really. In the 737 NG, we wouldn't really, well, you wouldn't ever really have the autopilot in with the flight directors off. You can do, but it's always flight directors first, then autopilot.
250,
1433 descent to altitude.
Directive, there's a plane in front of you getting close.
8,000 feet, radio 1433. And QNH now,
this guy, He can't be going any slower than 74 unless he's in the same aircraft. Can't see him. See, that off-eye looks mega. Look at that. All the colour corrections are finished. Look at that. That's a beautiful livery. So cool. So 70s. Scottish, whenever when do you use rudder trim? So sometimes in
flight level 150 cross Botic by flight level 182.
I think that was for me, guys.
Saudi to Mike Echo, copy.
Saudi 2 Mike Echo, descend flight level 150 to cross Botic 150 below.
Negative, cross Botic by flight level 180.
Okay, descend flight level 180 to be level at Botic, Saudi 2 Mike Echo. So, 180. Oh, now I've got to do some mental maths because I don't have... Oh, now I've got a DM.
Arkia 890, descend flight level 150.
Where's that message?
Level 150, Arkia 890.
Okay. You said descend flight level 150. I swear you said 18. Right, descend flight level 150, crossing 180. Got you. Right. Now this is going to be fun, because I've got to work out how many miles away Botic is from the VOR. It's not making my life easy. What I'm just going to do is go down now. All that lovely descent planning I did. Right, indicated airspeed, hold. I'm going to smoothly reduce thrust.
318, turn left heading 080, descent flight level 150.
Yeah.
Left heading 080, sorry, right heading 080 and descend 150.
We're now at idle, and the aircraft's going to pitch down to maintain our indicated airspeed of 260 knots. Hang on, that 702 has CPDLC, might as well buy the mic. Down we go, top of the descent, ladies and gentlemen.
31425, you are identified departure.
So, he wants me level at
360 speed,
Botic.
250 knots.
Oh, I've just realised something. Is the aircraft's not doing a good job flying this radial? Why is it showing fly right but flying in a straight line?
Saudi 1427, no speed restriction, free speed.
Look, it should be commanding a right.
Saudi 1427, no speed.
That was weird. It was in forelock, but it wasn't actually taking it.
Now.
I just recycled it.
Control 125.3.
Right, so Botic. I've got to work out how many miles away I am from Botic. So Botic is a distance of 75 miles. 75 miles away from the VOR. So 75 to 15. 95 is 20. We've got 35 miles to lose. Got to get down to 18,000 feet. It's about 10,000 feet and 35 miles we're going to lose. Speed distance time calculations.
17 Alpha, descent altitude 6,000 feet, speed 190 knots.
6,000 feet, 180 knots.
10,000. This is where you miss having Fly Management Computer.
Encryption 250 knots.
Speed 250 knots, Saudi on 450.
Well, it should be okay at 2,000 feet per minute. We'll be there in 5-6 minutes. But Botic, yeah, it's not making it easy. That's why I have a lot of respect for guys in the olden days who had to get always level by these points here. I mean, it's so easy now. As long as everything works. You could just type it into Flight Management Computer what level restriction is. VNAV will advise you.
Direct to VQ Oscar Victor Eco Kilo Uniform, speed 290 knots. Alright, so proceed direct to OBQ, speed 290 knots.
Perfect. Philippe, is that an iPad that is attached to the yoke to control the stream scenes? That is correct, Philippe. Yes. Actually, I need to put it on charge. I just had the low battery message come up. Thankfully, I have my
control, Saudi on 6,
nearby.
would be 5,000, they 101 kilos.
Saudi 116 control, alaikum salam, you are identified departure, continue climb flight level 360, maintain speed 250 knots.
Climb 360 and maintain 250, sorry.
Oh. See, my iPad is getting old. I've had to rotate it to get the iPad cover in, the charger in, but unfortunately it doesn't rotate on its own anymore. It never rotates, so I have to use the
Alpaca 17 Alpha 10 right heading
assistive touch function to rotate it. It's really
Right heading
annoying.
300 degrees.
Oh, it's all upside down. It's horrible. Oh, it's not even working now. I can't rotate my screen anymore. I just have to stretch my iPhone cable all the way round. Oh, that'll do. It's fine.
Arkia 89 Sierra 10 left
in
heading
business.
120 degrees.
So Botic, 75. So we've got 25 miles to run till Botic.
Arkia 89 Sierra negative, it's left heading.
Where's my distance time?
Left heading 120,
20 minutes, so 5 minutes. We've got to be level in 5 minutes, 6,000 feet. So yeah, 3 minutes will be level just before the restriction. Pilot Mike, I recommend the Elgato Stream Deck. I might have a look into that. I mean, I quite like the iPad one. I mean, it works quite nicely. I'll put the cam back on, as you can see here. So yeah, look, I've got all the controls for the stream here. I can bring up Navigraph charts as well. I've got my cable all strewn across the table now. But it's very easy for me to go from the main scene to the webcam off now. I've got different things there. It's mostly to do with alerts and funky music, so that's the replay music I do when I sign out and stuff like that. So it's quite cool to have. But yeah, you can bring up Navigraph charts. Speed 300 knots, Saudi 2 Mike Echo. So 300 knots. So we're in sort of level change at the moment. The easy thing is just to simply increase our speed. This has control wheel steering, which is quite cool. So you can leave the autopilot in and then just simply, if you turn this off, and then you could just simply pitch on the control column to control your rate of descent, which is pretty cool. So Botic, remember, we've got to be level at 180 at 75 miles, which is easy to do now, especially it's got me to speed up.
And speed 290, sorry,
5 Juliet descent altitude 2,500
He's busy.
speed 190 knots.
2,500, 190 for 185 Juliet.
That's 117.
Have you lost a FMC had to revert to VR navigation? Spent the better part of an hour explaining to my CA how to descend plan without the use of an FLS. Yeah, it does take some issues. Oh yeah, that's fine. I know about this scenery issue, guys. Scenery's fine. Want to go? Oh no, we go. So he wanted us to send 150, 180 level by Botic. There you go, actually can show you, look, we've made that restriction. So now I've made that restriction, what I'm going to do is turn off indicated airspeed hold to off, and now I'm just going to pitch up slightly. And we're using control wheel steering here, so I'm just going to pitch up until we're doing 1,000 feet per minute. This is how control wheel steering works. It's a little bit sensitive. And then I'm just going to add thrust now to maintain 300 knots. And it's just it's like vertical speed really, except you just control your rate of descent with pitch.
And that's 117
and I just have to add thrust manually to maintain 300 knots. It's really cool.
And that's 117. Please keep with me now. You are on the arrival. Descent to 10,000 feet.
So very low here, but that's ATC. There's nothing I can do about that. They want to be 180 by Botic. There's 300 knots, so I could just bring the thrust back. Key thing is here, you got to remember you got no auto throttle, so when you level off, you got to remember to add the thrust.
Right in 260 degrees, Saudi on 460.
Just seem to be doing a very good.
5 Juliet right heading 250 degrees.
Seem to be a good job holding the radio. It's not doing too bad. It's slightly off.
Alpaca 17, we establish ES 235.
Alpaca 17, thanks, let us maintain speed 190, sub 10 DME 160, sub 4 DME, contact tower 118.3.
Okay, speed 160 until 4 DME
Right, so
and
just taking a bit of thrust off, just because we're going a little bit too fast. Just want to maintain 300 knots.
Saudi 1433 descent, altitude 5,000 feet.
You can actually just do 500 feet per minute. So I'm just going to pitch up slightly using CWS, just so we're doing 500 feet per minute.
descent 5,000
This is how these boys used to fly in the autopilot all the time, was with control wheel steering. So there we are, just 500 feet per minute is all we need.
Saudi 318,
Very sensitive.
120 degrees.
There we go.
Right heading 120 degrees for Saudi 318.
Saudi 318, just expect a delay due to high amounts of traffic coming into Madinah and just trying to slow down.
Sorry about that. I think I might encourage some of the traffic coming in.
Saudi 85, Juliet right heading 310, clear Dallas approach 34 center, go to establish on the location.
310 degrees, cleared ILS 34 center.
So one to go, just got to remember to add that thrust.
Emirates 117, proceed direct to Mike Alpha 442.
John, did you work out by time, distance, speed? I was doing the calculations for the restriction of BOTEC with the time, distance, speed calculation. I've got my calculator in front of me.
Saudi to Mike, equal descent 10,000 feet, information Charlie, QNH 1024.
Send 10,000 feet and information Charlie, QNH 1024, Saudi 2 Mike Echo. So 10,000 feet set QNH 1024.
Alpha descent.
We'll just keep that rate of descent going as it is. We're a bit low here.
BOTEC flight level 180.
02.
Commence descent to flight level 150, cross BOTEC at 180, 3.275 Alpha.
1024.
Alpha 5 Charlie Papa, did you get your arrival?
And we'll put the seatbelt sign on. And no smoking on. Put out your
Please
hookers.
to Alpha 5 Charlie Papa.
This again.
No, we did not. Alpha 5 Charlie Papa.
Alright, Alpha 5 Charlie Alpha, my apologies, expect it's 1 hotel arrival.
Good, so bang on 300 knots. Speed's looking good, just 700 feet per minute. Remember what we said, we want to be at about... Actually, the great thing about INS is that you still have ETA, which is good, so we're 12 minutes away from the airport. So 12 minutes at this rate of descent, yeah, we'll obviously get a bit high, but we're a little bit low at the moment.
160 to 4 DME and contact our runway 3 Saudi 140 يعطيك العافية شكرا.
That's some Arabic I didn't recognise. The only Arabic I know is Salam alaikum, Maslama, which is bye, and is it Shukran lakum, which is thank you?
Speed restriction, the wind is 340 knots, runway 34 center, clear
Clearland 34 center, please.
Oh, someone landing on 3-4 there. They've got 2 runways. Love flying. It's honestly, it's so rewarding flying an aircraft like this. Oh yeah, I've still got all the old charts because we've been using Navigraph. I'll just bring those up as well. Let's go. Okay, good. So yeah, we're not flying any of those RNAV arrivals. It's just the approach. I'll just get that up so we can reference it a few times. So yeah, look, we're landing on 3-5. There's the other runway. So it's actually 3-6, so I don't know where that other aircraft was landing. What else for me? 250, I think.
Saudi to Mike, eco speed 270 knots.
Speed 270 knots, Saudi 2 Mike Echo. If it's easier for you and we don't need to take vectors, I can actually do the 16 DME arc. It's completely up to you.
Actually, I just completely forget that you are in Victor, so turn left heading 250 and we will continue via Victor.
Okay, left heading 250, Saudi 2 Mike Echo. And as I said, if it's easier to do the arc for you, it's no problem for us. Right, well, go on the heading. That's what we want ATC anyway, and that's the way you'd get it. Oh, I've just knocked the thrust up. Oh no! Oh, I've got a surging engine. No, I just accidentally knocked the thrust lever with my hand. Oh, hopefully it calmed down.
Maintain normal speed?
Right, heading select.
3116 no speed.
Let's just have to reduce thrust. Yeah, that's a problem. If you knock the thrust, I think we're okay. It was surging for a second because I added the thrust quickly. So 270, and we're on vectors now, which is fine. We could do that. AKA, I want the arc. I should have just said Robson. I should have requested DME arc. I don't know. We've actually done 2 DME arcs in this aircraft before. We did a DME arc in Alicante, and another one, I think it was into Copenhagen.
That's 117.
It's really good fun, and it works perfectly in this aircraft, turn 10, twist 10. But flying an aircraft like this is really good for me to practice my basic instrument flying. You just don't get exposed to it.
Saudi 318 descent, 10,000 feet information, Charlie, finish 1024.
Right, so we're going to go indicated airspeed hold now, and just, actually no, I should keep that off.
And confirm when we'll get
I'm just going to use control wheel steering. I should just do 1,000 feet per minute. Whoa, it's a little bit too aggressive. It's quite sensitive there.
Okay, it's 90 right 10 left heading 090 degrees.
That's nice. That rate sounds good. So we'll try and maintain a CDA as best as we can. John, so is it time? Distance divided by speed, multiplied by 60 to get the minutes. I've been mucking about with this using my calculator. Well, I don't multiply by 60, I can just use the decimal time, but that works out okay. But yeah, I'm just adding thrust now to maintain 270.
Stand by Saudi 318, speed 270 knots, and I will give you the turn message.
So it's a bit more challenging under vectors to work out where you are, because now we're on vectors actually I can get rid of the VOR, but I want to sort of have it so I have a rough idea distance wise. INS as well tells me 44 miles to the VOR, which you programmed, which is over the airport, 9 minutes at present speed at 270. So we're actually 10,000 feet AGL now, so I'm going to do the post-cruise checks now. Remember the elevation here is 2,000. So we'll turn all the lights on, usually we'll wait for the retracts.
Control
flying this approach.
Advised, we don't have waypoint Echo November Echo Lima Alpha in our FMS. Would like vectors after reaching.
Checks complete.
What was the waypoint, please?
So I'm just adding, manually controlling thrust now to maintain 270 knots. I'm in control wheel steering, so hold, just doing about 900 to 1,000 feet per minute.
Just to remind me before Botic by like 100 nautical miles.
حاضر معلش بس هذا شخصي دايركت جديد بس أنا مش عارف مشكلة.
مو مشكلة.
Right, turn the music off now. One to go. Oh, there's a flight director I've got. I'll turn that off because it's just never being used. We're on a heading now anyway.
Just to confirm, 100 miles before Botic.
So I'm just pitching up again slightly using control wheel steering just so we can do about 500 feet per minute. And I'll add a little bit of thrust to maintain 270 knots.
185 descent flight level 150 cross Botic by flight level 200.
Yes, 69 kilometers. Modern aircraft do. Modern engine 737 has auto throttle, but this has no auto throttle. We're old school today.
Saudi 318 to turn right heading 245 degrees.
Right heading 245, Saudi 318.
Speed back to 250. Did instruct 270, but typically 250 below 100. So this is just a reference bug, guys. It's not actually controlling the thrust or speed directly. It's just so I can reference it on the airspeed indicator.
Turn right heading 160, descent 10,000 feet, RTI 990.
So the aircraft's going to go to out hold in green, and it will level off. And I'll just have to add thrust again to maintain 270 knots. There we are, out hold green. So adding a bit of thrust now. It'll level off.
MS 117, leave Mike Alpha 449 and by heading 310 degrees.
Good. I'll actually bring the speed back to 250 now. Just taking a bit of thrust off. A little bit of split.
30 to Mike Echo, turn left heading 210 degrees.
Left heading 210 degrees, heading to Mike Echo. So just maintain 10,000.
3147 above the pushback.
So we'll now get the ILS tuned, which is here. The frequency is
90, continue right heading 215 degrees.
Turn right heading 215 degrees, okay,
13, that's active. And the course was 345. And what this does...
5 units,
This gives me really good situation awareness with regards to where we are in relation to the runway by setting the course on there. So you can see that we're heading away from the airport.
That's 117, please turn right heading 310.
So I'm actually going to have the ILS stream, but I'm actually going to keep the VR on box 2. The reason is 14.1. The RMI needle will be pointed. That's pointing always at the airport. The VR's on the station, so that's really good. So I know the airport's to my right. If I head on a heading of 270, without wind that is, I'll head towards the airport. That's the runway direction as well. So I'm sort of downwind, you know, heading away, sort of parallel with the airport at the moment. So it's just about, when you're flying with the Eagles like this, it's always about building up a picture, situation awareness wise, where am I in relation to the airport, what's the distance. And with the RMI level, that means we're going to be flying 90 degrees away, so that with the head pointing up, that means we're flying towards the airport. With the tail up that side, means we're flying away from the airport.
We can fly direct.
There's 250 knots, so just adding a little bit more thrust to maintain the speeds.
After Potek Arena, no Victor 167.
Saudi 117, please stand by just to deal with these topics now.
Oh, there's a lot of new people in chat here. Mike, I believe I can see your trek on the INS will help massively with this. Yeah, I think you can. If I go to that one, it just shows you how far, of course, you are. I like having distance and time because it just shows you the distance. But I'm just using needles. Didn't have INS in my Seneca. Well, there are two course selectors, one for the HSI for the first officer, one for the captain. Oh, I mean, we're sort of... Well, let's see where we are. There we are. So we're sort of half on the arc, really. We're on a 16-mile arc, we're on a 25-mile arc. But the vectors, obviously.
So if we want to continue right heading 270 degrees.
Continue right heading 270.
Obviously, the vectors, he has to cater for other traffic on the frequency as well, to allow us to get in there.
Saudi 203, expect it's one hotel arrival for ILS approach 35.
It's a one hotel arrival 35, 203.
Smidge more thrust, just to maintain 250 knots. Oh, actually, how much fuel have we got? Pounds! 13,000 pounds of fuel.
Saudi 2 Mike, could descend to 8,000 feet, speed 230 knots.
Descend to 8,000 feet, speed 230 knots. Saudi 2 Mike Echo. So 8,000 feet is set. We're going to bug 230 as a reminder. And we're going to go to off. We don't want to outhold anymore. I'm just going to slowly pitch nose down in control wheel steering to maintain about 700 feet per minute rate of descent. Just reducing thrust now to maintain, or we actually need to reduce to 230 knots, don't we? So I'll just pretty much go to idle. And just a little bit of an excessive rate of descent I want, so just pitching up. Ooh, it's so sensitive. You'd feel that, your stomach would be in your mouth. There we are, so idle thrust. Let the speed come back to 230, keep about 700 feet per minute.
Mike, riding 250 degrees.
Riding 250 degrees, Saudi 2 Mike Echo. There we go. So this is sort of a base leg now, coming up. Speed 240. That's about 230 there. We'll go flat 30 for landing. Landing flat 30, set bugs.
3116, above flightable 340.
So there's 230 knots. Start landing thrust to maintain 230.
That's 117, thanks. Let's maintain speed 10 till 4, till 10 demi, then 160 till 4 demi, sector 118 decimal.
So I'm just going to do about 500 feet per minute, so I'm just pitching up again slightly. There's 230. Again, sorry for chat, because I am sort of not. I'm half hand flying this plane at the moment in control wheel steering with no order throttle, so it's taking more capacity. Quick outside view, I can do that. This big map is beautiful. Zoom level 17 here.
Saudi to Mike, code, turn right heading 300, descend to 7,000 feet.
Riding 300 degrees, descent altitude 7,000 feet, Saudi 2 Mike Echo. So 7,000 feet set. So about 20 miles away, you want to be at 6,000 feet plus elevation 8,400, so not too far off. In fact, look at that, we're just about, the glide slope's just come alive look now, so we're in perfect position really. I'm just going to keep that rate of descent coming in here, maintaining 230 knots for ATC as well, so this is the intercept heading. We just need the localizer to come alive.
Left heading 200.
Left heading 200.
Speed's looking very nice.
Please confirm speed 270 for K9
Just increase that rate of descent slightly. There's the localizer. Now alive. Well, not alive, sorry, the HSI's come alive. So that rate of descent, we should intercept the glide slope in a couple of minutes. Not cleared approach yet though.
Information Charlie, QNH 1024.
Could you repeat that please, Mr. 3275 Alpha?
Just increase that rate of descent slightly now.
Alpha descent 7,000 feet. Information Charlie, QNH 1024.
Descent flight level 10
Quite 1,000 feet per minute.
1024. Spring mark to 675 Alpha.
Love CWS and with the yoke.
So this is Mike Echo speed 190 knots.
Speed 190 knots, Saudi 2 Mike Echo. So go to idle now. I'm going to struggle at this rate of descent, but we might have to level off here for a second anyway with ATC. Saudi 2 Mike Echo request further descent.
So this Mike Echo descent to altitude 5,000.
Descent 5,000 feet, Saudi 2 Mike Echo. Excellent, so 5,000 feet, we're on the glide slope. I'm going to select flap 1 now and bring the speed back to, well, still 190 as commanded. And we'll hopefully get a bit of approach any second here. And go straight to flap 5, below 250 we're fine.
Station Gulf again, please.
I need to ask if we cleared approach because we're going to go straight for the localizer otherwise.
Flight level 220. Iran Air 757 Delhi Control, Assalamu alaikum. You are identified flight level 200, continuous flight.
There's the airport. Come on, ATC. Saudi 2 Mike Echo, cleared approach.
Stand by Saudi 2 Mike Echo, to right heading 320, cleared ILS approach, 35 approach established.
Righty, 320 degrees on the heading, cleared ILS approach. We'll pull established Saudi 2 Mike Echo, thank you.
Okay, it's 9 Sierra, right heading 320.
I should say, excellent, right, a little bit high now. Well, I said a little bit high, just on the glide slope. We can arm, auto approach, nav locks engaged. Runway heading 345 set, glide slope capture. We're at idle now, and missed approach altitude 6,000 feet is set. Let's go flap 10, just to keep speed to 190 knots. Looking good, guys.
1024, Saudi 185. Saudi 203, descent, flight level 150.
So heading thrust to maintain 190.
Descent flight level 150, Saudi 203.
Saudi 2 Mike Echo, fully established.
Saudi 2 Mike Echo, thanks, select maintain speed 160, so 40, sector 11 minutes, decimal 3, have a good night, bye-bye.
160 till 40B and tower 118 decimal 3, Saudi 2 Mike Echo, Masalama. Excellent, 160, tower 118 decimal 3, we'll get every disconnected a second guys, just get over to tower. What's the tower called? I don't even know what it's called. Madinah Tower. Madinah Tower, hello. Saudi 2 Mike Echo, established ILS 35 at 9 miles.
Saudi 2 Mike Echo, Madinah Tower, hello. Continue approach, runway 35 in operative.
Continue approach, Saudi 2 Mike Echo. Excellent, so bring the speed back to 160, looking very nice. Is it hard to fly with a mouse and keyboard, said Bugsarma. Yes, you need one of these. Let's do it, guys. So we're just going to trim quickly. That's going to disconnect the autopilot, my aircraft.
Stand 129.
Configure a little bit earlier. Actually use the flight directors now, a little bit of assistance, so auto approach. There we go. Weather's perfect here. So I'm going to configure a little bit earlier. So gear down, flap 15, match the speed. I'm going to bring the speed all the way back now to our approach speed. There's a little bit of balloon with the flaps. Landing checklist, so start switches, this is where it gets tricky. Continuous recall is checked, speed brake, armed green lights, landing gear down 3 green, auto brake, whoa, just watch my range of sense, is set to minimum, and holding on the landing flaps, flap 30. So you can see, look, single pilot, I've just gotten very low on the glide, still 3 reds, so it's okay. Start adding that thrust. Remember, the engines are very slow to respond here. A little bit off centre line. Let's get back on that glide slope, so just dialed in 500 feet per minute. And flaps got 30 green light, waiting for our landing clearance. And remember, it's very unresponsive in pitch there, getting a bit low on the glide there. There we are, so there's 500 feet per minute. Wait till the glide slope comes back. Still within limits. Oh, speed though. Oh, speed. Getting a little on speed there. Checked. So keeping the scan going. Speed back. There's VREF. There we are, there's a glide slope, so we'll just dial in about 700 feet per minute. Aircraft's now vacating ahead. Now we've just got to keep that picture now. Yeah, so pitch, just to show you, look, pitch up then down. Look how delayed in response the aircraft is. It just needs fine-tuning by the team. Hopefully there'll be a patch or update at some point to address that.
City 117, please hold your position.
It's very slow in pitch and roll. Very, you know, in the real life, the aircraft will be, or the NG will be rolling a lot quicker, and it's not that different for the classic.
Correction.
There we are.
City 2, Mike Echo, winds 26 degrees 3 knots, runway 35, clear to land.
Runway 35, clear to land, Saudi 2, Mike Echo. Clear to land, checks complete. Speed's good, on glide, on localizer. Checked. Lots of little inputs now. There's minimum, so continue.
Oh, it's 117, if just please stand by, there's traffic passing in front of you.
Yeah. Keep descending, and flare a little bit higher in this aircraft.
556 behind the landing
More
traffic,
thing with this FlyJSim than the real aircraft. I would flare at 20-30 feet, but I
Run
have to
way behind
check
the,
higher.
arriving traffic, Ascot 2556.
Ascot, sounds like an Ascot. Checked.
It's 117, taxi via Juliet, Whiskey, Lima, stand 1,
Check.
110.
Close. Hold. So, my pitch, it's just a bit, it's so wallowy. That'll probably be a go around. Oh, it's just not easy. Right, speed brakes up. Watch those reverses. There's 100 knots.
No delay, Ascot 2556.
It's not easy in this aircraft, guys. You need to fix the pitch. You saw how big the inputs were. The aircraft wasn't doing anything. 80. There you go. There's the surging, which I can't control. We'll brake to make this exit. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Madinah.
Yeah.
Why is my brakes not working? Oh, my brakes weren't working. Welcome to
Tower
Madinah, ladies and gentlemen.
2556. We're unable to make that turn to the runway. We're departing. Well, we're leaving
Oh
the
dear.
runway.
I pressed the brakes on the control column, but nothing happened. Oh dear.
Please stand by.
Yeah, we are clear of runway Ascot 2556.
Well, it was legal.
Oscar Echo Mike Alpha Tower loads Alkia 89 Sierra ILS runway 235 4000.
Just wait for our clearance from tower to go over to ground. Well, I don't think there's any ground here, it's just tower, so he's super busy. That traffic here on final, superb.
Taxi via Juliet, November, Lima, stand 119.
Juliet, November, Lima, stand 119, Saudi 2 Mike Echo. Thank you for the ATC. Shukam, lakum. There we go, excellent. So here is November, and then Lima, and then stand. What was the stand again, guys? You'll have to remind me. I think it was 119. He said. Super busy here, and I've got to prioritise taxi and music first.
556. Are you able to make the right turn on Juliet and then?
There we are. Excellent ATC by Saudi Arabia ATC tonight.
Stand by for Ascot 2556.
Ascot's having a nightmare. So here's Lima. Stand 119. Thanks, guys.
Tower 2556, we can give it a go. We're very heavy this evening, so turning is a bit of an issue
Wrong
for
one.
us.
Turning's an issue?
We'll-
Oh dear,
we'll
it must be
able
heavy.
to, give it a go if you like. I've got 2556.
There we are, stand 119. So we just turned it on November. Oh, it's right in front of us. There's stand 120. 119's the next left.
Yeah, we might need to do that for Ascot
There we are.
2556. We're going to be turning left.
Turn those lights off because we're about to turn on to stand. Strobe lights off. They can come off. Probes. Edge brigade lights off. There's stand 119. This is another free scenery available. Information's in the video description below. Really nice. You know, yeah, it's a bit blocky and stuff like that, but you know, for a free airport, you can't complain. It gives you all the correct stand numbers, runway designators. Looks absolutely fine to me. Yeah, lovely aircraft, but in pitch there on final, very difficult to land. Well, I would say it's borderline impossible. Like the pitch, I mean, I'll just bring up my yoke cam again. You might have seen it. I was doing this, but the aircraft wasn't doing anything. You know, I was having to do this loads to get it to move to what I wanted. I think during the last part, the flare had the stick fully back. If you did that in real life, you'd have a tail strike, but or you'd be going vertical before stalling. Well, stalling first, obviously, before you went to vertical. But yeah, it's still a super plane. Just hopefully we'll get to the bottom of that pitch. The pitch responsiveness. Excellent. So I'll turn off that one before I show you my ugly mug. APU is get your ARPs in chat. I pushed start, but it didn't go. I didn't hold it down long enough. There we are, APU starting. Well, we can shut down engine number 2 at least on stand, save a little bit of fuel. Master caution, fuel. That'd be actually centre pump. Yeah, interesting. I never actually managed to get that fuel out of the centre pump. I need to look at the fuel schedule for the how to use the centre pumps on the Classic. Slightly different there. No moustache cam. You're not seeing my moustache. I am sporting a moustache at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. Right, so we leave one engine running because obviously if we shut it down now, we'd lose all AC power. Yeah, that was a superb event today. Yeah, and then during I tried vacating the runway. I was holding the brake down, which I have assigned to the right push-to-talk button on the control column. Brakes weren't working. I attempted that exit at about 60 knots or something. It's a little bit sketchy. Auto brake off. Sorry, auto brake. Flight director's off. APU's nearly with me. Open that. Oh yeah, weather radar. Come off as well. On the bus. There we are. 2 blues. The parking brake is set, and we can now shut the engine down. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Madinah. Absolutely beautiful. Fuel no problem for Saudi. Yeah, absolutely. Get the doors open, just a bit of immersion. Oh yeah, it's still. Doors are pressure locked. Let's go to. Let's blow everyone's ears off. Let's go to manual. Open the outflow valve. Yeah, look at the cabin rate and climb. There we are. So now the cabin crew will be able to open it. I hope. Those sounds majestic. There we are, in Madinah. John Gillette, the best man you can get. I don't want to get rid of it, I love it. Hayden, good evening, sir. Good evening to you as well. Blissful small down, that's why I've jumped outside here to so you can enjoy the noises. Aaron Hastings is chatting, he's in the 70s pilot. I just start curling up at the tips. A lot of my colleagues look like an RAF pilot at the moment, I love it. Flight deck to manscaped, unbelievable. You left the spoilers out, oops, yeah, I think I've just stowed them out here. Honestly, the pendulum effect it's got going on is even more annoying than the slow response. Yeah, have you seen it, Sky? The inputs I was having to make was just to keep it, to smash it into the ground. But yeah, if I did that in the NG, it was seriously over controlling. You know, aircraft been all over the place. But to get the flare at the end there, I had the stick almost fully back. But yeah, just to show you guys again, I don't know if you can hear me with the APU going off there. Yeah, the elevator's just the reason we were up and down so much. I was demonstrating this at the start, but for anyone that missed it, look at the elevator and the yoke input. Full back and full forward, 0, 1. It's almost a second and a half. Like down, 1, 2. It's only 2 seconds. It should be instant. So when I do that, the elevator should be full up at the same time. That's why it's so difficult to control the pitch in this aeroplane. Now, if you jump into the Zebo mod, you'll see how it's meant to be. It used to be the same issue. Oh, hello, Finnair. It used to be the same issue, but yeah, in pitch, the elevator is super slow to respond at the moment. But yeah, hopefully that's something they can fix at a later date. You know, with a randomly appearing Finnair, I'll jump offline. But the ATC today, amazing. I had any flights in Saudi Arabia until this time, but great to have been on the network to enjoy the ATC. Right, so let me now close the doors. We'll imagine we've got our passengers off. Well, look, even for more realism, look, I can go empty. Whoop, you can see it going up on its gear. That's actually really cool. And what did it say at the bottom there? It's quite cheeky. We'll now close the doors and we'll do the replay. Excellent. Let's have a look at some of these comments during the landing there. Tokyo drift, skidding, high speed exit. Eddie, what's the landing? What's the plugin that tells the landing? It's called, I think it's just called the landing calculator. Type that in Google. That will get you there to the explain forum to download it. Too much Assetto Corsa. Popcorn and skidding arriving in Madinah style. Yeah, that was. I thought I was braking still, but I wasn't. I should have gone for the next exit there. With the engine surging at the same time, looked real professional. Excellent. What a beautiful aircraft. I second that. So yeah, you know, despite the slight issues in pitch, you know, it's an excellent aeroplane. One of my favourites, and well worth the $70. The actual elements of navigation using the manual order throttle is super cool. Really enjoy every element of that, which is why I keep coming back to this aeroplane as well. I tell you what, I'm probably going to fly the 727 next, which has been even longer since we've flown it, but I've really enjoyed jumping back into the 737 200 again. One of my favourite aircraft in the sim. Superb. So we'll jump on in here. We'll leave it as it is. I won't do the full shutdown flow because I want to do the replay, and we can now turn off Fly Live. Trying to be a professional streamer here. Cue the funky replay music. There we are. Excellent. Just the one sector today, guys, because I'm on early standby tomorrow. My standby starts at 4:30, so literally I'm eating now, going straight to bed after this. So jump to this aircraft. Right, enjoy the sounds on this first one here, guys. So there's the flare look. It's like a continuous flare look. And then right at the end I had to really, I was holding the stick fully up, look. Yeah, not bad. And it just sort of went, look. There's the buckets going out. We'll do that again for the old engine sound. Oh, you can hear the reverses there. You get the little touchdown sound as well, I think, with this aircraft. Let's have a look from here. Enjoy the sounds, guys. In the Seneca, holding it off, I was a little bit there. How, yeah, that is not the improved landing technique for the 7-3. But got to get that butter for you guys. And there's the engine's on fire and surging. Because I can't, it can only go from max reverse, right? So I've got surging engines, vacating about 60 knots, so almost like 2 wheels, like. That's a bit dodgy. Let's see if they've got a tower view. They do. Oh, it's not the best tower view. I might just jump out that one and see if I can do a view whilst moving the camera for you. Oh boy! Come back! Oh, that'll do. It's not easy because I can't. I've got to move the camera myself. That's in pants. not a professional replayer. Anyway, we'll pop you back into the aircraft now. Oh, loud. Turn that right down. Right, anyway, guys, well, we've got to do that one for the replay so you can enjoy the buckets. Awesome stuff. Well, enjoyed that stream. Excellent, lovely sector from Riyadh to Madinah. VATSIM Saudi Arabia. Guys, quite a big VATSIM presence on here, so if you ever get a chance, pop in and fly some sectors in Saudi Arabia. They seem to be doing lots of events and things, somewhere different in the world to go explore. Really, really good fun. I enjoyed doing my little bits of Arabic today as well. So, excellent. Excellent aircraft FlyJSim, as I said, available $70. One of my favourites. We'll be definitely flying again soon. And as everyone, thank you to everyone that's joined the stream. Really appreciate the support you all show me on the channel. To all the members, thank you very much for the continued support as well. And to the new members that joined, I hope you enjoy your time in Discord. Hope you enjoy using all the perks as a member as well. So the members, I will see you all on Saturday for the 25th members group flight. To everyone else, have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you all very soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.
Excellent.